My name is Rhapsody, and I've got some explaining to do off the top of this episode. So we're going to go into the arena, and it's immediately going to put us into the draft phase of a Warlock, if I recall correctly. Yes? Yes. So we were offered Warlock, Mage, and Paladin. The one we've played least recently is Warlock. So I chose Warlock. This is the first pick, so you've missed nothing other than the class selection. The thing is, for some reason, my my webcam has been freezing up recently, and then when I refresh it, my computer blue screen of deaths and everything dies, right? And then the computer restarts, and I lose all of my footage. So I've lost no significant amount of footage yet, thankfully, but if my webcam freezes, I'm not going to try and refresh it, because I'm going to be in the draft phase by that point, hopefully. I'm not going to try and refresh it. I'll just turn the webcam off for this episode, and I'll just keep the score up. It's the best I can do. Alright. The only one of these that actually does anything is the Bloodsail Corsair. The rest of them... no. A 1-mana 1-1 versus a 1-mana 1-2. This one actually has an upside as well that's far more likely to come into effect than the Enrage on a 1-1. So, yep, I'm going to go with Bloodsail Corsair. Oh, do I build a pirate deck? You know what? I'm going to take the Bloodsail Raider because it's actually better than the other two. Mortal Coil or Dread Infernal? Ooh, yeah, I want to be able to cheat out Dread Infernals via Void Callers, so I'll take a Dread Infernal to start off with. Wow. This has got to be a zoo deck that they're offering me, right? So, Abusive Sergeant. Because they're giving me such a low curve. I have no dragons so far, but both of these are pretty shit stats-wise. A 3-mana 2-4 isn't that bad, plus it has an upside, so I'll take it. Imp Gang Boss. It's always Imp Gang Boss when you get offered it. It's such an amazing card. Neither of those are amazing, so I'll take Shadow Bolt for removal. If I'm going to be flooding the board, then I'm going to take a Frostwolf Warlord, because it's going to allow me to get a lot of value. Void Caller to cheat out my Dread Infernal, as I said prior. Okay, yeah, this has to be a zoo deck. I'm going to have to run straight to face. They're not offering me good cards. Look, Mana Addict, a 2-mana 1-3, dies to a 2-mana 3-2, and has no upside in doing so. Ancient Watcher, I'd have to silence it to get value. The only silence card I've seen so far has been... It's too reliant on other cards. Arcane Golem, fine. I'm going to be going entirely for face. In which call I will need a Leper Gnome. I'll take the Use Your Drake, because it'll help me kind of get a little faster. Plus, it'll also be a trigger for my Blackwing Technician. Another thing to cheat out with my Void Caller. I feel like this is either Power Overwhelming or Frostwolf Warlord. Power Overwhelming so I can take down big dudes and push through them, or Frostwolf Warlord just so that I can take advantage of having a lot of small dudes on the field. Unfortunately, I'm not curving really high on 1s and 2s, which is what I'd want if I was doing Frostwolf Warlord. Void Walker isn't that amazing in Arena, because you haven't got buffs for it. Alright, I'll take the Power Overwhelming. Soulfire. Usually I'd take one of the other two, but nope, Soulfire in this deck. Void Caller for cheating out bigger cards. Shadow Bolt for removal while I go for the face. I need 2 drops. Wow. I can't take an Ancient Brewmaster because it's so anti-tempo. I'm actually going to take a Succubus. I can't believe it. But that's what's going to happen. Pint-Sized Summoner. So how many times can I buff this Dragon Egg? Power Overwhelming. Abusive Sergeant. That's it. I haven't got an incredible amount of demons, so Demon Wrath is not just going to be like a Consecrate for me. I'll actually take Stampeding Kodo. That's Implosion, 100%. Wow. Oh my god, I'm getting offered such trash. There are straight up a lot of picks here that are just trash card, trash card, trash card. I've got to take 3 2s and 2 3s so that I can kind of force myself onto the board really early. None of this is good. They're all really shit stats-wise, so I'll take the one that replaces itself. Jungle Panther for going face. Zombie Chow is exactly what I need. I'm trying to draft as low as possible. Cool, I'll take a Void Caller because Succubus is actually that bad. Well, looks like I'm taking a Succubus now. Defender of Argus is good if I have board presence, and I'm going to have board presence, so I'll take you and Doomguard. It's a bad deck. It's not a good deck. We need to focus on curving out really, really well, and then just dropping a card every single turn, dropping, tapping, dropping, tapping, dropping, tapping, and then hoping our opponent can't keep up with us. At absolute most, we are going to go 4 wins. Absolutely the most amount of wins that we can possibly get with this deck. There were so many picks there where it was very evident that unless I wanted to take a severe aggro kind of approach to the game, that I was going to get nothing. So many picks there where that was the only option I had and the rest were absolute trash. I think I did the best that I could marking the circumstances. I could have realized it was an aggro deck a little bit earlier and gone for a few different choices. Maybe I wanted to get those higher end cards. I don't know. I still think I did correctly. Arcane Golem wants to be one of our finishers, plus none of these are cheap enough. Cheating out Void Callers from Void Callers is going to be pretty good.
Hello.
Imp Gang Boss is fucking amazing. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 1/1 Imp. So unless it's removed via an effect that doesn't deal damage to it, say Kodo, it at the very least will summon 1 Imp. Which immediately makes it worthwhile. It's possible that I wanted to Abusive Sergeant that turn to force my opponent to ping to slow them down so that I could generate a board. That's actually... That would be super fucking meta plays, but it actually would be correct. Because I'm not going to get to play this for a few turns, because I'm going to go on curve, on curve, on curve. That's really good for me. That could easily be the end of the game. There's a little bit of input lag right now. I'm wondering if possibly someone in my house is uploading or downloading something. Huh. Coin... Water Elemental, that's really good. Well, that's a minion I will have to ignore. Unfortunately, my opponent's going to heal most of the damage I've already done to them. And yeah, I do need to just go for the face while I can, because they're going to go for Flame Strike eventually, and I will lose as a result. Okay, so they've already used coins, so they do not have they do not have Blizzard this turn. I'm hoping the largest thing they can remove is just 1 minion, and then I get to generate a Frostwolf Warlord for a total of +5/+5, so it'll be a 9/9. I've got a hit. Looks like they get to remove 2 things, so I'm gonna get an 8/8. That's rough. That's really rough that I didn't have a demon.
The frost wolves stand ready. Sever my wrath.
It's not entirely aggro. Zoo is about efficient board control as well. So yeah, removal there was correct. Okay. The problem is that Novice Engineer will draw me a card, which, if it's good, will immediately get discarded by the Soulfire. So instead, I actually want to discard the Novice Engineer. Because unless the Novice Engineer draws me a 1-mana card, which I have not incredible amounts of in my deck. I mean, I have a few. But unless it draws me a 1 mana card, I'm gonna have to discard it. So. And then we can even see what it would have drawn me. Yeah, it would have killed the Use Your Drake. 100% correct for me to have done it in the way that I did. Best thing right now is that Flame Strike leaves me with an 8-4 and a 1-1. So it doesn't leave me poorly off. I should have noted that the Jungle Panther should be in the middle because of Cone of Cold. If the Jungle Panther is in the middle, then the only 2 targetables are on the outside, which would have meant that they can't all be hit with the Cone of Cold. So that was a mistake on my part. That should be lethal.
My shield for Argus.
Okay, so it's taking a while for things to happen. I'm gonna go quickly just check something. Okay, I probably didn't need to edit that out because it was only a few seconds, but yeah, there was some uploading going on elsewhere in the house, so I've just paused that. Okay. That's a pretty decent exhibition of how this deck is supposed to work, right? My opponent dropped a lot of value minions. I mean, they skipped their turn 2, which was incredibly good for us. Let us get a tempo advantage. But our opponent dropped a lot of value minions. Water Elemental. Piloted Shredder, 2 of the best 4 drops in the game. And then an incredibly strong 5 drop. What was their 5 drop again? Whatever, they got a lot of strong minions, but we were able to just push through all of them. With relative ease as well. Can I rely on Succubus as part of my curve? Only because I have the Zombie Chow who can challenge a 3-2 that would try and kill a Succubus. The problem is also that Wrath will really annoy me.
I greet you.
This is one of the most common archetypes that you find in Arena. Specifically for Warlock, I mean. Zoo. It gets offered in the draft, a surprising amount. It would almost be best for me to have the Power of Overwhelming discarded at this point. I think I'd prefer Power Overwhelming or Defender of Argus. No, Power Overwhelming or Blackwing Technician to be discarded. Actually, the coin would also be really good to be... I'm just trying to think about all of the things that I don't want the fucking Succubus to kill. Oh, wow. This Succubus is actually going to be really powerful. Don't discard Doomguard. Oh! Haha! Discards the coin. Not bad. So if our opponent is going to try and ramp, we need to just hit the board hard, and fucking run to the face forever. The slower they play, the way better off we're going to be. That's really good for me. That is really good for me. Positioning. No reason for me to position. Actually, there was a reason for me to position. This should have gone in the center, because it's always going to be one of the minions that I want to have buffed with the Defender of Argus.
Where shall I strike?
Yeah, looks like I'm using Power Overwhelming this time. So there, we'll finally put her in the center, like I wanted to previously. We're gonna start having problems when our opponent plays taunts that we can't deal with. Like Iron Mark Protector. Because we'd have to use our whole board to deal with that.
My shield for Argon.
Luckily, we're getting back a card advantage through our opponent having to innovate out cards like that. Ancient of Law? Sorry, Ancient of War with Taunt Form would have been the, like, horror case. It's so likely that I lose the Dread Infernal. Fine. This is very hopeful that my opponent does... you know what? I should have just cleared. I should have gone bop, attack, attack, and then I would have been safe to swipe. Whereas right now, if I get swiped, I probably lose the game. In fact, if I get swiped, I almost certainly lose the game.
Put this apple on your head.
Yeah, I don't think that was correct. In fact, I'm certain that wasn't correct. It was very dumb.
Shields up.
Far too risky. Really? You only want to defend one creature? That seems surprising to me. Now, since I have more health than my opponent, and obviously I'm not going to have enough minions to play each turn, I can just tap constantly. It's a huge advantage that I have. That's actually more effective right now. And now we're in the part of the game where I can just run over my opponent, basically. Oh, wow. Why? I'm thankful, but why?
My eyes are open.
One, two, three. I thought that cost 2. Whoops. Oh no. I did a dumb thing.
To the void.
Uh-oh. I thought I was going to be able to get the Frost of War let out that turn. That's my apologies. I should have done... Should have done it much safer than that. If opponent has swipe... Oh, look! It would be from the top deck if they have it. Nope.
Snakes. It has to be snakes.
God. So I've got 6 damage to face. 7, 8, 9.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
So at most, my opponent can remove 2 minions from my board next turn. I just need to get something really good before they get their next big minion. Arcane Golem doesn't matter anymore, doesn't give my opponent a buff, so it's just a normal card. One. Hang on. That's lethal. Well played. 2-0.
play.
Yeah, this is how this deck is expected to perform as well. For anyone that was wondering, when I said it's... Oh, hey, I've got the minions shall... inherit. Sorry. The meek shall inherit. So, yeah. Yay, I'm probably going to get that quest done, because it's summon 32 cost or less minions. Anyhow. This deck is expected to perform like this up until you get to around 4 to 5 to 6 wins, where your opponents have more well-balanced, better tempo decks. You'll notice my opponent fucking wild growthed on turn 2 and then didn't have a turn 4 play. They hero powered and hit my face. If they had a turn 4 play, they probably would have won. But they didn't.
Your soul shall be mine.
None of these are powerful enough early players to keep, so throw them. Oh dear. Okay, so on turn 1 I can develop an abusive sergeant because my opponent doesn't have a ping, so... Oh hey! How about I develop this guy instead? I've got to be really careful about developing the arcane golem too early, unfortunately.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Yeah, I just needed another minion on board. Hero power pass! Oh, do it. Give it to me, baby.
Mind if I roll need?
If I don't get a 3-drop, I'm gonna have to arcane golem. That will be the fucking saddest day of my life.
Sever my wrath!
We're almost certain to lose this match now. But if we win, we're gonna win very quickly. I don't have enough of a board to defend against my opponent's 4 drops, 5 drops. I can't give my opponent that mana advantage. It's not like my opponent wild growthed either, so it's not like the last game, because when my opponent wild growthed, they lost a card. They just got a card and the mana crystal. So they have more options, although it's also worth noting that hunters have more aggressive options, whereas druids have more defensive options. Really? That wasn't correct.
I come.
Get behind me.
I can't naturally play the Dread Infernal at all, because if I do, it will kill my guys. Yay. Yep, that. Our opponent summons the balanced Highmane, who trades evenly for the Dread Infernal and then wins the game. Oh my god. That is the worst thing I could have drawn. Alright, 50-50, here we go. Yep, played the wrong one.
Trouble now.
I mean, I don't even know how I win from this point. So I can attack that and then play the Dread Infernal, which kills my own dude and then kills the Dread Infernal stuff, gives a 2-2 and a 2-2. And then my opponent uses one of the 2-2s to kill my Succubus, and I've got a 2-2 versus a 6-6. Or I just go face. I think the only way that I win this game now is just going face. Oh my god, this is so bad. Savannah Highmane is the worst 6-drop that I could have seen. Houndmaster?
I let the dogs out.
Oh yeah. That's the kind of world we live in, apparently. Best case scenario, I top deck Shadow Bolt. And then I tap into Soulfire. And my opponent plays nothing, they just hero power.
I smell blood.
Well, evidently, we don't live in that best case scenario. Oh dear. Where are the Shadow Bolts? I swear I drafted
As the
some.
master wishes.
Yeah, I kind of just have to mindlessly hit face. There's no path for success in anything else right now. There's no path for success in doing this either. Seeing the Savannah Highmane was pretty much the death knell.
I let the dogs out.
Yeah. Savannah Highmane, double Houndmaster, Glaive Zuka, Animal Companion. Our opponent had a really good deck.
I let the dogs
Triple Houndmaster.
Well.
At this point, I can actually just outright concede. There's no way I can win. My opponent can remove my entire board this turn. Oh no, they have to leave me with a 1-1. Oh, there we go. I might win off of the back of that. Oh, 1-1-1. Yeah. They're an incredibly aggressive deck. They've already got... how much is that? 20 damage on the field? Plus a 2 damage hero power. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. And that's the way it's gonna go with like aggressive zoo decks in Arena. You either outright win, or you outright fucking lose. Like, you're done. Like, it's over. You get crushed, or you manage to win. There's no in between. It's a very polarizing deck. But I would like to remind you that that draft phase was not offering me anything else. It gave me some nice Demon Lock cards. That's pretty cool. But the 2-drops it gave me were primarily shit.
Gul'dan versus
And then it gave me a lot of rare choices where all of the rare choices were shit unless you wanted to go aggressive.
Shall be mine.
I think I have to keep the Bloodcell Raider out of these. I want 1-drops, but how greedy am I? I mean, that goes back 100% of the time. That goes back most of the time. I'll keep the Bloodcell Raider. I am fine with this decision. I am suddenly not okay with this decision. Oh dear. Oh dear. If the Bloodsail Raider... Sorry, if I get to power overwhelming one of the imps that comes out of the implosion, then maybe I become a really happy dude about it. Let's hope our opponent does something dumb, like they... Arcane Missiles. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Yeah?
So many possibilities.
was going to say... Hopefully my opponent does something stupid like super buffs up their Mana Worm. I hope they don't have Flame Cannon. Kind of fucked in that position. But I was hoping they'd do something stupid like super buff up their Mana Worm by doing Mirror Image and stuff like that to protect it, and then I can just Shadow Bolt and go ha 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 ha. Oh hey, they are doing that. So, 66.6% of the time, I kill that and develop a really good board. Okay. I could have rolled a 3 or a 4 and killed it and developed a decent board. Or I could have rolled a 2. There is no 1. I could have rolled a 2 and not killed it and gotten a shitty board. So this is okay. It's also worth noting that regardless of whether I got 4 or 3, I'm still only going to be able to kill 1 mirror image this turn.
Death does not scare me. The frost wolves stand ready.
I really wanted to go Power Overwhelming Shadow Bolt, but drawing the Frostwolf Warlord told me there was 100% no chance I'm going to be able to make a bigger Frostwolf Warlord this turn than doing that. It's also worth noting that the Death Lord isn't really going to summon anything that big for me. I think I have to do Power Overwhelming Shadow Bolt.
So many possibilities.
Because if I attack in with the Frostwolf Warlord here, it goes down to the point that the Jungle Panther can kill it. So I have to take no damage on the Frostwolf Warlord, which means that I have to use this to remove this. Not bad.
I hope you like my invention.
Nah. That was what I was afraid of, drawing a Succubus, because then that dilutes the pool of good demons in my hands. I mean, I have my hand, rather. Because I have the Imp Gang boss, which I want to get summoned, and then I've got the Succubus, which is also there.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
I couldn't have predicted my opponent having the extra 2 damage on that. I had to play around as though they didn't. Okay, if that's mirror image, my opponent's gonna be sad.
Matey.
To the void.
Time to lose to Flame Strike? Time to lose to Flame Strike, here we go.
You're in trouble now.
Couldn't develop this board before Flame Strike, so I pretty much just have to hope my opponent doesn't have it. If I play slow at this point in the game, all my opponent has to do is develop 1 big minion, and then I can't get back on the board. Ever. So, I just need them not to have Flame Strike. That is not the right one to ping. It was gonna die in the AoE anyhow.
To the void. Summon me.
And I still get to tap and play a card.
I see everything.
This is good. This is good.
For the king!
No Flame Strike.
I'll show
They don't have a Flame Strike. This is so good. Oh, man. I'm having a good day. Six, 6, 2 is 14, 15, 16. Okay, so 16 damage. Not lethal. Kill that. Kill that. Oh, it does summon a new secret. Interesting. Mirror image? No. I'm gonna hold off. The chance that it's vaporized is actually appallingly bad for me. So I'm gonna Abusive Sergeant my Blood Imp and then attack in first.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Sure, send the little guy.
Nice barrier. That's fine. Oh, counterspell. Cool. Well, this one's getting bigger. I'm gonna start trying to put minions between these two, because if a Cone of Cold comes up, I don't want both of these frozen. Wobblade! 3 unto 1. I'm not certain I want to cut to a part 2. Ooh, actually I should probably re-roll the Paladin plus Priest quest. Spellmaster. Unlikely to get that at this arena. Yeah, I probably won't end up cutting to a part 2, because this deck, every game is going to be very, very quick. I mean, we're 4 games in, and we're only about 30 minutes in. Right? Usually, 4 games is closer to an hour. So yeah, I'll probably just hold off on cutting to a part 2. Most likely do this all in part 1, unless we get super successful, get to an hour, and we still have only 1 loss. Which is really unlikely.
You asked for it.
If you ask me. Okay. I can't keep Succubus in my early hand. Voidcaller is so powerful, and I have so many demons in my deck. Fucking Novice Engineer. At least the Novice Engineer might slow my opponent down by forcing them to use their hero power on that turn. Which would just be the godsend. Which means they need not to be able to coin a minion or play a minion this turn. That's really bad.
I hope you like my invention.
That's really bad.
Oh, if you're sure.
There are problems here. Opponent develops a really good turn 1 minion, and then coins a turn 3 minion. It's basically like they played this on turn 1 and then this on turn 2. That's not super important. I probably just Soulfire that, to be honest. Which means that I go Imp Gang Boss Soulfire. Discard Succubus or Bloodsail Corsair, please. So I attack in because I don't want my opponent to ping that, and then the Mana Worm is out of range for dying to the Imp Gang Boss. This also does, however, open up Flame Cannon as an opportunity 100% for my opponent to kill it. But if they had Flame Cannon, they would have pinged the 1-1 and then Flame Cannon. So it's really effectively no different unless they generate a really powerful 3-2. Yeah, it's fine. Especially with no secret on board. If it gets more powerful using anything except for a counterspell, then I'll just Shadow Bolt it down. Plus, its buff actually happens at the end of the turn. Yeah, so I get... The element of it that would be scary, the +2/+2, is not into effect until I pass it back to my opponent after they've played a secret. That's got to be Cone of Cold, right? No, Arcane Explosion. Shame.
From the void I come.
I did not know that it puts it on the very left. I thought it put it in the original position of the Voidwalker. Sorry, the very right. I can't actually easily tell left from right.
Truth is my shield.
Yep, that's atrociously bad for me.
As the master.
My opponent was going to hit Flame Strike turn next turn anyhow, because they would have been on 7 mana. So if they're going to Flame Strike, they're going to Flame Strike. I couldn't tap and then do nothing. I need to constantly be generating minions. This is why the curve needed to be low. Yeah, I understand. I have accepted that. It's, you know, basically, do they have Flame Strike? Y/N. If Y, proceed to lose. System.out.println lose. In quotation marks, because I'm not referring to a variable lose. Or am I? Who knows? Maybe I declared a global variable lose at the start. I don't know. Maybe I'm a wild dude and they did that. There's no playing around Cone of Cold when you only have 2 minions. You can't do it. This Shadow Bolt is just stuck in my hand. There's nothing I can do with it. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I think I've done as good as I can with this deck. I'm glad that I've gone more than 0 wins, basically.
The frost wolves stand ready.
In fact, I've killed as many people as will have killed me by the end of this, assuming I go 3-3, right? It's still a 50% win rate. You've got to think about that. Even 3-3 is a 50% win rate. God, it sucks to lose to people drafting Tauren Warriors.
From the void I come.
Defender of Argus is better as an immediate buff. Like an unsuspecting buff. So that was my decision behind keeping it. Also, if my opponent has developed their largest minions, then... Really? Well. Well, fuck me, I guess. Yeah, opponent just develops a 9/9 taunt.
My shield for Argus.
Hang on, where's the rope?
Time runs out on me.
Thank you. The rope was immediately there on my turn. It should have been immediately there on yours. Oh, let me guess, duplicate? I'm gonna have a lot of fun killing so many Nozdormu. Absolute horse shit. Oh, yeah, sure, Leroy as well. Why not? Yep, duplicate. Alright, another Nozdormu. Nozdormu costs 9, if I'm right. Okay, 2 Nosdormus in hand. Both of them cost 9, so my opponent wouldn't have the ability to... Top decks the Fireball.
That was a mistake.
Meek shall inherit. At least we've completed 1 quest, which is infinitely better. That's gonna make me feel a lot better about the amount of gold that we get, because then I can just buff it up by 40, and then imagine that I actually had a good run. Yeah, sure. That Nosdormu, by the way, had to come from an unstable portal. Otherwise, my opponent would not have been able to taunt it that turn. Which would have let me run to the face for a lot more damage and possibly challenge them. But no, getting through a 9/9 taunt cost almost all my board.
Versus
It's worth noting that getting the implosion was a very lucky draw for me.
Your soul shall be mine.
Imp Gang Boss and Void Caller are really powerful. I'm gonna keep them. Fuck it. Okay, unless I draw a better one, I'm playing Abusive Sergeant on turn 1. Well, looks like I'm not playing Abusive Sergeant on turn 1. Probably the best thing I could have discarded. Because next turn I want to coin Void Caller and then play a Void Caller. Opponent slows down their aggression. So coin a Void Caller into a natural Void Caller. If my opponent silences and kills this turn, that's probably the worst thing that could happen to me. Or playing a Yeti. That... I guess would have to be Freezing Trap for me to care. Now I'm really hoping that that cheats out my 6 mana Void Caller, so I don't have to play that for 6 mana. 33% chance for that to happen. Rough. Cheat out my Void Caller! Huh? Discard anything but my Void Caller. Please.
You're in trouble now.
What the fuck? 25% chance. Are you kidding me? Cool. Yeah. I cannot believe I'm going to lose to this Rushdown deck. My opponent just has to tap every turn. That's all they have to do now. And then just draw a kill command casually and they'll win the game. Or a charge. Or make a huffer. Who knows? Most damage I can summon is this. Got 12 damage next turn. My opponent apparently only has 2 damage this turn. Whoop! Kill command! Boom! 3-3. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Hey, at the very least it was a quick arena. What's that, 50 minutes? That is the quickest arena of all time. Stay tuned next time when we do another arena. But for an interesting twist on it, I'm going to change the language settings to German. Just for a bit of fun to cool off from this. That's 65 gold that we got in total. 25, I added the 40 I got from quests. Leaving us 85 down. Hey, triple epic. Already got double. I don't think I have double of that. Now I do. Hang on, let's check if any of those actually immediately get DE'd. Looks like at least some do. Yeah, it's probably one of the shadow... No, it's not the shadow bombers. Wow, really? Yeah, no, I've got 2 shadow bombers. That's pretty crazy to me. DE2 shadow bombers? No one's ever going to use this card. No one. No one will ever use this card. I'm calling it now, no one is ever going to use this card. Why? Because there are very few, almost nothing gives you a benefit for having a battlecry effect, so unless, you know, this minion gets +1/+1 for each battlecry, right? Unless that type of a thing exists, this will never be played, because it has 1 damage, sorry, 1 health, and there are way better aggro minions already that deal 3 damage to each hero, whatever. There are way better aggro minions. It's like a shitty Flame Imp, right? Because the Flame Imp will deal 3 damage to the other hero next turn, whereas this only does 2 damage, and then it dies to easier minions. The gap between 2 and 3 damage is incredibly high. Never going to be used. I'm going to DE both. Very close to creating a new legendary. Oh. Next time, we're going to do a German arena. Because I know a fair amount of you are German. So, Viva la Deutsch. I know what I said. Alright, hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. My name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Hearthstone Arena, the name of the deck has been... What's the name of the deck been? I'm gonna call it this card, because if you say it really quickly, it sounds like discard, right? And we had to discard a lot of our cards, and then we got unlucky on a lot of... Whatever, man. We had like 2 Succubuses, a Soulfire, and a Doomguard. That is 5 discard, because Doomguard discards 2. Whatever. That's what it's called. Deal with it. My name has been Rhapsody. I said all of the other stuff before. There's going to be links in the description down below to all of my Hearthstone Arena, Hearthstone Ranked, Hearthstone Adventures. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. And if you like the video, please click like. It doesn't get my content out to new people. There's also playlists, whatever. Fuck! I always do it out of order and I end up looping and then just repeating and saying extraneous shit. Bye.